Hey y'all, hey, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Kayla, and this is Becoming Hers. This is a space where we talk about healing, nervous system awareness, softness, unlearning survival mode, especially as black women. We have spent most of our lives holding it together, and today we're going to talk about nurturing because we all need nurturance. I want to be honest from the start. This step is where a lot of us struggle the most. This is where I struggle sometimes. And I feel like it's because a lot of the times we aren't taught how to care for ourselves emotionally. We were taught how to survive, how to be strong. We were taught how to keep going, but no one actually set us down and showed us the blueprint on how to stay with ourselves when something hurts, how to pour into ourselves, how to love ourselves, how to self care, and not the self care that we have today. I know everybody has this aesthetically pleasing way of self care, which is like nails done, hair done, going shopping, doing all that. But emotional self care is important, spiritual self care is important. Taking care of you internally is important. Before I knew how to nurture myself, I didn't respond with like understanding. I responded with pressure, and with pressure came, I'm gonna curse you out before I understand what you're talking about. If something hurt me, I didn't slow down. I didn't check in with myself. I would definitely beat myself up mentally and try to push through it. Like, I'm strong, I can handle this. I don't have the time to fall apart. Like, me falling apart is taking me 10 steps back when I need to be going forward. Um, and in relationships, this mindset showed up like very heavy. If someone hurt me, and not just, I'm not going to just say like romantic relationships, friendships too, family relationships too. If someone hurt me, I didn't create distance. I ran to them. I tried harder. I thought if I loved them more, if I gave more, they would see the value in me. I needed to be chosen. I needed to prove that I was worthy. I was dependable. I feel like that is what happens when you grow up feeling like love is conditional. So instead of nurturing myself and prioritizing myself and like, having boundaries and saying, you know what, this is not in alignment with me, let me remove myself, I overextended, I overgave, I overperformed, I made myself useful, hoping that would keep me safe, hoping that would keep me chosen or in that conditional box of love. When I was sad, I didn't expect anybody to show up for me. I learned early that if I was going through something, I needed to be there for myself. I was going to have to handle everything regarding me, about me on my own. So I carried everything by myself on my own very quietly. I feel like that teaches your body. It definitely taught me in my body that care is not something you receive. It is something you work for. It is something you have to perform for. So when it finally came time to like start to like slow down, my body did not relax. My mind definitely got louder, and I sat. And if I did like sit down, my thoughts would immediately start. You haven't done enough. You're lazy. You didn't um, push too much. Like you didn't do too much today. You don't deserve rest. You should be doing something productive. That voice came from watching the women in our families work themselves into the ground and still be expected to keep going. From watching strength be praised more than being able to sit with yourself, from learning that your value is tied to how much you carry. So when nurturance comes about, it starts off feeling selfish. Nurturing, nurturance requires selfishness. I know a lot of people just feels like, you have to be selfless, but there is a certain amount of selflessness and selfishness that you need to have. You do not need to be selfish in terms of harming people, but selfish like choosing yourself, like staying in alignment with what you feel. If you feel like saying no, say no. Not explaining yourself, like staying aligned with what works for you, even when you don't like it. Selfish like staying in alignment with what makes you the happiest, what aligns with you, what works with you, what keeps you the happiest, even when other people don't like it. Because we were taught that being needed keeps us loved, being selfish feels weird. So choosing yourself can feel like risking a lot. This is why nurturing is important. This is why a lot of people struggle with nurturing themselves. This is why a lot of people struggle with putting themselves first. It challenges the belief that love requires self-sacrifice. Recently I noticed a huge shift in myself. I've been going through like a huge major transition, and my motivation has been low as hell. Pushing forward or just pushing through, like to keep going anyways, didn't feel normal. I mean, natural. Let's say natural. My body was telling me to pause. It wasn't asking, it was telling me pause. Usually I wouldn't listen. Sometimes I would listen. This time I listened. I rested. And for the first time in a long time, I did not feel guilty for resting. I realized like me being able to rest and not feel guilty happened because of practice. I had awareness. I had trusted myself. I gave myself permission. I noticed what I felt. I named what I felt. And the nurturing was me to rest. I sat in the discomfort long enough for me to be able to silence those thoughts of, I'm not enough, I haven't done enough, what are you resting for? I sat in the discomfort instead of running from it. Nurturing doesn't always feel good at first. Sometimes it definitely do feel like you walking into shark infested waters. But the more I chose to pour into myself, the more I chose to listen to my body, the more I started to align with what I needed instead of performing and pushing through, the more my nervous system rested, the more I was able to notice myself, the more I became able to name what I was feeling, the more I became able to nurture myself. The more things started to shift. The moment I chose everything over what I've been taught was the moment everything in my life started to change. Not overnight, but with practice. I didn't stop having trauma. I didn't stop having hard days. I know a lot of people feel like when you heal, you don't have that trauma anymore. But healing is not erasing your trauma. It's being able to respond to things that trigger that trauma wound inside of you. Healing, in essence, is being able to live life knowing, you know what, I can't change the past, but I choose my future, basically. And choosing your future is choosing something that is more aligned with what you want for yourself. I want to be healed. I want to be able to love myself further. I want to be able to nurture myself. I want to be able to calm my nervous system down. In order for me to calm my nervous system down, I need to heal. And I need to leave that trauma backpack where it's at. So, no, I did not stop having hard days. Some days I have really fucked up, rough days. Some days I have moments where I do feel sad. What changes is how we meet ourselves inside of those days. The more we learn to nurture us, the more we learn to pour into us, the more space opens up for like peace, softness, clarity, stability, self love. Survival did not disappear, but it definitely does stop running the show in the background. A lot of us think that we're nurturing ourselves, but we're really actually just staying busy. Shopping, like I said, shopping, working nonstop, building a life that looks good but feels exhausting. I'm not judging it, but I'm not judging it because I definitely do understand ambition. I understand wanting more for yourself. I understand loving what you do. I understand wanting more. But if you carry stress everywhere you go, that is not nurturing. Building a life that looks good but also is very exhausting. Um, and I'm not judging that. I definitely do understand like having ambition, wanting more for yourself, loving what you do and who you do it for. I understand it all. Like I be in that position a lot of times, especially with like becoming hers. I love what I do. I love being able to come in here and talk to people. I love it. But if you carry stress everywhere you go, that is not nurturing yourself. A lot of us aren't taught that all of our emotions are valid. Not just happiness, not just peace, not just strength, but anger is valid. Sadness is valid. Fear is valid. Loneliness is valid. When we become aware of our emotions, we can name our trauma, we can name our patterns, but we don't know how to care for them. So, what happens is we become very aware of our emotions. We can name our traumas, we can name the patterns, we can notice, we can name. Just because we can name it doesn't mean we know how to tame it. Name it to tame it. That sometimes creates a loop where you're aware but still overwhelmed. Self-aware but still exhausted, knowing better but not feeling better. That is a missing skill, and the skill is nurturing. Nurturing isn't always deep or emotional. A lot of times it's simple and consistent. Sometimes it looks like having patience with yourself. Sometimes it looks like creating boundaries with yourself. Sometimes it is accepting that you cannot fix everything today. Sometimes it looks like creating a routine, whether it's making your bed, um, cleaning for 10 minutes, listening to music while you are cleaning. Those things calm the nervous system. That creates order. That tells your body, we're okay right now. This is something that calms us. Nurturing also looks like spending time with yourself on purpose. I take myself out on little dates. I sit with myself. I pour into my identity. I treat myself the way I want to be treated. I do this because it sets the tone for the future. When you start choosing yourself like that, you stop begging to be chosen. You stop being able to push through without any self regulation. When someone says, I don't know how to nurture myself, I don't tell them to do more. I tell them to slow down and ask, what do I need in this very moment, today, this second, this minute, this hour, to feel okay? Nurturing is not instinct, it's a skill. It teaches emotional independence, it teaches self trust, it teaches boundaries, it teaches self worth, it teaches you how to support yourself so you're not always looking outside of you to feel safe. Nurturing changed my life because it taught me that I am the creator of my life. I am the master of my own reality. I choose what I pour into. I choose what I cut off. I choose what I tolerate. I choose what I stay connected to. And what you believe about yourself is a quiet agreement with what you allow. When you start nurturing yourself, your choices changes, your relationship changes, your peace, your pace, the way you move through life changes. You stop building a life that only works when you abandon yourself. So today's practice would be to just pause, be patient, and do not rush. You do not need to hurt yourself to prove you're disciplined or worthy. You can pick, I would say just pick one small act of care and do it on purpose. Whether it is something you haven't done in a minute, rest, drink water, say no, breathe, clean for 10 minutes, put your phone down before you go to bed. That's something I've been practicing, like no phone, like an hour before I go to bed. And through all these practices, remind yourself, I don't have to break myself to build a life. I am allowed to feel what I feel. My feelings are valid. I'm allowed to rest and put things down, even if I'm not used to it. Start small. Nurturing is how healing becomes sustainable. If this made you feel seen, if this made you feel grounded or understood, subscribe and join the Wildflower family. And if you want help practicing this in real time, there is this week's PDF. It's available on my Gumroad account. Next week, we'll be talking about navigating it. When care turns into boundaries and aligned choices. Guys, we're not behind in life. I feel like sometimes we see everybody just popping. Let me just say that. We see like everybody lives now, like 20-year-olds having things and at an early age, and we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just so behind. Life is happening according to your plan, not their plan. So we're all on time. Everything in life right now is happening according to God's plan. Once you learn how to stay with yourself, the next question becomes, how do I move with people? How do I move through life without losing myself? So, ciao. See you guys next time.